at the end of the day, both of them would be 10. We're gonna work through this in many weeks, so you're gonna get an idea of it, but that's what it is. Can I, instead of doing a global and a normal variable, you can send your variable actually in. So here, let's say I'm getting a number from the user, as we learn. And then I'm going to modify this module I have, which is, I'm going to comment that out. And here we're just going to get the value or number here. So that become a local variable, but this number comes from outside of the module as an input. So here, when I call the number again, oh, here we can't really call it like that because it needs to input. I'm going to comment that. So here I'm going to get that number from the user, and I'm just going to call my module and send that number in. What it happens is, let's say user put 10, this num variable become 10, and you send it up, and here your number become 10. Then you do all that by yourself. I mean, like, the module gonna go through and come back here. Let's try it. All right, so let's put 50, and if you do that, you see you get 100 as a result. Okay, now you can have multiple input as well. So let's define something called sum, and as you can guess, value 1 and value 2, and basically you have a result as a local variable, is not accessible outside of this module. Add these values, and okay, I missed it. Some column, I missed that. And here we're gonna print the results. Or no, you know what? I'm gonna make it interesting. I'm gonna create a module called that print, and we're gonna send the result to it. No, okay, that's not really good. Print result. So this module basically get that result from here and print it. So on the top of this, remember, when you call a module, the module has to be already defined. So here we're gonna go define something called a print results, and we're gonna get result. These two are not the same. This is a local variable for this module, this is a local variable for the other. So you can use anything you want. I'm just gonna use the same to make your point, and print. You're gonna get the results is result, and when I print here, we're gonna print another line says the sum function. Function is another name of a module, basically. Was executed. All right, and then I'm gonna go back here. So this is to module, and I'm gonna write another main. So this is gonna be my main module, which is the program we'll call your sum. So first, gonna get the num1 as an input. You know what? I'm gonna make it more interesting. I'm just gonna have another module like a get num. So basically, gonna get two numbers, and here I'm gonna write it on the top here maybe before calling it. So get num. What the get num does, gonna, there's a typo there, yeah, so I forgot the underline. Here we go. So matchup, you're gonna get the input I'm gonna call num1 equals to integer input, enter the first number, and we're gonna just copy paste that again, enter the second number, and when you do that, we're just gonna call the sum inside of that. I know it seems complicated, but I'm gonna walk you through it. Num1 and num2, and what's gonna happen is we're returning here and says, let's make a simple print, the main, thanks for using our program. Alright, so let me just walk you through this. So first of all, I'm gonna call the main. So where the program actually starts is right here. So that's where it starts, and it goes to the module main because we're calling it. And in module main, let's say we are here, we're gonna call another module called get num, and here where you match it up, it goes here, and we're gonna get the input from the user for the first number, then we're gonna do it for the second one. All right, and then we call another module inside of this module. So 7, where we go, we're gonna match the name with whenever you call. That would be a problem. Why? Because we're calling it, and let's see, maybe not, but usually it has to be defined after that, after you're calling it. However, since we're doing the module inside the module, it should be fine. But we'll talk about it if it's not. So this is gonna be 8. This would be 9. This would be 10. This would be 11. And what happens here? Oh, sorry. That wouldn't be 11 yet. We're calling another module print result, which is on the top. So you're gonna go here, 12. We're gonna print the result. We're gonna go back here again. Whenever you call the print result, always go back when you're done your module to the previous one. Whenever you call it, basically. So 13, gonna be 14 here. Then 15. Where should I go? You're calling it here, right? This is your module you called whenever you call it, which was here. You go back here. So 15 would be 16. There's any more line in this get num module? No. So you're gonna go back to whenever you call it, which is here. So that's gonna be 17. And then you're gonna have 18. What's the next step? Will be right here, 19, and you're done. Seems complicated, but if you follow one by one, you should be able to see it. Let me run it. All right, so I'll give you some outputs. Enter the integer. So I'm here right now, step 5. Say 10, and the result is 20. Oh, that's the first step. I'm gonna just jump that. This is the second module. I'm doing it, so I'm gonna go 12 and 13. So 12 and 13 gives you 25. The sum module was executed. Thanks for using the program. So everything will work accordingly, no problem. Usually it's better to define your module before you calling it. In this case, the exception, because the program going to define this, define that, define this. It's not going to call this till later. So when you go define this module, it never execute the inside of it. Therefore, you define this module, then whenever you call it, is already defined. All right, so I'm gonna write a really quick separate file. I'm just gonna teach you how to actually manipulate it through this main. Let's open a new one. Let's call it birds. And simply enough, you see I have two files here now. I'm just gonna call them, define a main module, which is inside, we call in California module and Texas module. So there's two modules I'm calling, and now I'm going to define those. So I'm going to define a variable, local variable 8000 for so this is a local variable for California, and here just going to print let's say California has birds up, or birds. Let's use birds. It's more appropriate. Alright, birds. And now I'm gonna do the same thing with Texas. So I can use another local variable since the previous one was local. It's not interacting with each other. And basically Texas has birds. Okay. All right. You see, there we go. So these two are mutually exclusive, even though they have the same name. So whenever you call this, birds would be 8000. You're gonna print this output, and whenever you call this, it would be 4000. So now I'm gonna call my main question. Okay, let me run it. So I'm gonna go to the bird, run it here, and you see you have California 8000 and Texas 4000. Question: can I run my main here instead of there? The answer is no, because even though you call the main after defining your main, these two are not defined. So when you call, the program was here, define the main, and go call the main, go back, try to call California, it never been defined. I'll show you how. There we go. You see there is an error here. So California is not defined. Even you can move that to the next one, you define the California before calling the main, but the Texas is not defined. Here we go. So what should I do? You always call it after defining everything. See? Right there. So now let's get rid of the main and link this file, which is the burst, to my main. I'm going to teach you how to link these two and run all the files and modules in your main. So here, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use something called an import. And you're going to call your names birds. So as you can see, this basically says unused. Since it's unused, it's kind of deemed in and it's highlighted. So here now I can use it. I can call the file birds, and you see this one is just sprite up, and then you put dot, and even you put dot, you have all these modules that you define inside of your file bird. I'm just going to show you these three when you call working on your main. Again, so dot, and let's say you can go Texas, California, or main. If you call main, you basically, let me run my main again. This is previous. Let's just get rid of that. 2 and 2, 4. There we go. You see, you can print those here. Also can, let's have a separator. Also, you can call those separately. You can go birds dot Texas. And you can go birds.california. See, you can also separately print those. Let me just run the program again. 1, 1. Here we go. So these two are separately called. And that's how you link your main file with something. So you can write many modules and call it whenever you want to in a separate file. Okay, so that would be a really quick glimpse of the modules. We're gonna work through it more and more as we go, but hopefully you got what it is and how to use it. We're gonna see more practical example of it in future videos. Thanks for listening.